Well, with that said, let's. I'm going to turn the mic over to you for the NFL segment of this podcast. So let's get her going.
Perfect. And speaking of derailing trains, we're going to start off with breaking news from this weekend. Jackson Mahomes strikes again, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who do not know, Jackson Mahomes is the younger brother of Patrick Mahomes. This man has a multitude of many things he's done. I'm just saying the main three that he's done. He's poured water on fans in Kansas City, opposing fans when the Chiefs have lost. He's complained because he didn't get his way at a restaurant and tried to cancel the restaurant on Twitter. He's also danced on a memorial for a TikTok for Sean Taylor at the Commander Stadium. And now you have this weekend, while he's at a club with his friends, he asks the owner of this club to have a word. Her thinking it's something serious, she takes him to her office, where he forces himself onto her not once, not twice, but 3 times.
3 times. 3 times. And I've seen another video of like him at a mall or something.
Yep.
And there was some girl there. He does this all the time. And I mean, people, they say that he's gay. I don't know if he's gay, but Twitter's having a riot with this of just saying like he's just, he's trying so hard to prove that he's not, but he's catching a court case instead. So he's just a questionable character. And unfortunately, he's the brother of Patrick Mahomes. And, if you're Patrick Mahomes, like, what do you do? I mean, you just take your brother to the side and just give him a good old whack over the head, Well, that's what I would do.
See, it's one of those things where the best way to describe Jackson Mahomes is he's a spoiled brat.
Yes.
He lives like he's like, if you watch Instagram or anything like that, you can't really tell which brother is the famous one. Because you would think it's Jackson Mahomes. But in reality, Jackson Mahomes is literally getting everything handed to him from Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
From what I learned, he lives with Patrick Mahomes. And this is the kind of stuff that Patrick gets rewarded with for being nice to his younger brother.
Yeah.
It comes to a time where you got to look at it and say, when is Patrick going to say enough is enough? Because this is kind of some of the things that you don't want your last name to be connected with. Especially when you're close to being the face of the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that Patrick Mahomes has been co-face of the NFL for a while now. I mean, especially with his epic, duel with Tom Brady back a couple of Super Bowls ago, and then winning one recently, winning another one now. I mean, if anything, he's the face now with Brady out.
100%.
So,
I mean, I've read multiple things where people are like, Mahomes came into the league. I was a really big fan of him. But because of his brother and his wife, they've got to the point where a lot of people are like, can we just fast forward the time to where he's done with his career?
Yeah.
Because it's bad publicity that's going on from the people around him.
Yeah. Either done with his career or he just drops his brother from everything and just lets his brother do him. I mean, maybe he's at that point, because I don't think I've heard anything about the situation from Patrick Mahomes. Have you? I haven't.
I have not. I don't think Patrick has. I mean, I can take a quick look to see if Patrick has said anything.
I doubt it.
But I don't think he has said anything. And it's one of those things where I think this is one of those moments where Patrick Mahomes can't save Jackson Mahomes from this.
No.
Like everything else, Mahomes could, defend it like, oh, he poured water on people and blah, 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 they said something to him.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those things where there's video evidence of this man forcing himself on a woman who's pushing him. And he goes back for more.
It's not just any woman either. I mean, this is the CEO of this bar, right? I mean, she's like known and respected, right, as this owner of this bar. It's not just some random person. Yeah, it's not just some random girl or fan even of him. Like, she probably knows who he is, but like, it's just disgusting. Disgusting is the word for it. And unacceptable, honestly. I mean, if there was any reason to cancel anybody, cancel this man. You know, I mean, I'm not a fan of cancel culture, but I mean, this is honestly a court case.
You're like, you know that saying, 3 strikes, you're out?
Yeah.
This man is on 5 strikes, I want to say right now.
Probably more. But yeah, I mean, 5's being generous, I think.
Yeah, not wrong.
5's being generous.
It's just, yeah, this is just, it's one of those things where it's sad when NFL breaking news is of someone's brother. I mean, I look back and I like think about this. When was the last time we ever heard of like an NFL star's brother being a problem?
Yeah. You don't.
You don't hear this.
Half time you don't even know they have a brother.
You're not wrong. It's one of those things again where I hope this is the moment where Patrick finally sits down and says, enough's enough.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't, there's no hope for the Mahomes. None.
There's none.
But let's move on to something a little less serious.
Yeah, please.
As the Tennessee Titans are shopping star running back Derrick Henry now. As we all know, the Titans traded away A.J. Brown last year during the draft to the Eagles, their star wide receiver. Now they're looking to trade away their star running back. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Tennessee's plan is going on up there, but Tennessee's got a weird game plan going on. I mean, usually you don't get rid of your star receiver and then now your star running back,
right,
to build for the future. But I mean, Derrick Henry's one of those players where if they do trade him, whoever gets him is getting a really good running back who's going to put in the miles and he's going to put in the work.
Yeah, he does that.
There's also a good sign from the Giants and Daniel Jones. Sources say that Daniel Jones's agents are traveling to New Jersey today. So hopefully there will be a deal being done there. As I don't think there's going to be a franchise tag for Daniel Jones now, because the Giants have officially franchise tagged Saquon Barkley.
Oh, that's a choice.
So with that, it's either Daniel Jones signs back or Daniel Jones is gone.
And this is all on his $45 million contract negotiation that he wants, right? Like he's still pushing for that, probably.
Now I think, if anything, with them getting Barkley back, I think that's a good thing for Daniel Jones, honestly, because I think he wants to play with Barkley because those two have been together since he first got there.
Yeah,
he has that connection there. So with Barkley being there for good now, or not for good, but for at least this next season coming up, that's huge. Moving down a little south, the Saints have officially signed a new quarterback.
Really?
As the Saints have signed Derek Carr to a 4-year deal.
Fantastic.
I honestly think this is a good pickup for the Saints.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, I mean, I feel like a lot of people gave him a little too less of credit when he was in the Raiders. I think the coaching changes that they did over there is what ruined him. I'll say it, like I've said before, when Jack Del Rio was leading that team, that Raiders team was looking good. But when they moved to Vegas, they wanted to make a big splash, and they went out and got John Gruden, and look how that worked out for them.
Not well.
And since then, I can't say that Derek Carr looked good after that. Now that he moves into the Saints, they have some really talented young receivers over there, which I think if they could try to pick up something else in free agency or whatever to help out there. Again, you get a good quarterback that helps out. Running back wise, I still think that Kamara could be an option to get rid of. Well, I mean, Kamara could also be facing jail time this season. So they'll be looking at a running back, most likely in the draft. Defensively, I think that's the only spot. Or I think their defense actually wasn't too bad. They could use another defensive back to kind of help them out. Other than that, I think the Saints are in a good spot with this Derek Carr signing.
Yeah.
Back to Tennessee. The Titans are also expected to release pass rusher Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree. I don't even know that name.
He's a pretty good pass rusher for them.
Oh, okay.
Honestly. Again, another veteran player that they're planning on getting rid of. Which, again, makes you say, Titans, what's the game plan here? As this offseason goes on, I'm interested to see what the Titans do.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, the Titans are looking like that team that's going to be just bottom of the barrel next season. I don't see them competing for the South. As of right now, the Titans are my favorite to win the South. Now that they've switched things and did some changes that they've done, I'm now back to the Jaguars. The Jaguars are now my top for the South next year for that.
Yeah.
Vikings are releasing linebacker Eric Kendricks after 8 seasons. So that's another good defensive player that'll be out there in the free agency pool. Big news here. The Cowboys have used their franchise tag.
On not that.
And they used it on running back Tony Pollard.
Really?
Which just shows you that the Cowboys have more faith in Tony Pollard.
Yeah, they're getting rid of Zeke for sure.
Which makes you wonder, how many more years is Zeke going to be in the backfield of Dallas before they finally kick Zeke to the curb?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, being an Eagles fan, it sounds biased, but I will say, from a football fan, Zeke had one or two good seasons, and then he just fell off.
Yeah, he was never the same, honestly.
He started fumbling, and I mean, for a team like the Cowboys, which again, being an Eagles fan, this kind of hurts to say at times, but that Dallas team should 100% have won multiple championships by now. You look on paper and you look at the receivers, you look at the defense. That team is stacked. Why they haven't won a championship yet? I don't know. It's always, then again, though, I mean, Dak didn't look that good in the playoffs last year. What do you throw? Was it 4 interceptions in that 49ers game? I think it was either like 3 or 4 interceptions that he threw, and you just don't want to do that in the playoffs. It'll hurt you. Moving to Atlanta, the Falcons quarterback Marcus Mariota. So I'm wondering if that means that the rookie that they picked up last year will be the new pushing starter, or if they're looking to try to pick up one of the free agent quarterbacks like Jimmy Garoppolo. Of course, there's still Rodgers kind of in the mix of that.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I feel like going for Rodgers is a bad choice.
Yeah, it'd be bad for Rodgers. It'd be bad for all parties involved, I think.
I just feel like whoever picks up Rodgers, you got to be expecting at least just 1 year. Moving to the Bills, defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier stepping down for the 2023 season. Pretty sad. I feel like the Bills' defense has been pretty decent. I mean, I feel like there's some things that they could fix and work up on.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, what's their plan going forward defensively then?
I don't know. I mean, I heard, a couple of like analysts and experts talking about how our defense was too like linear, not much like, explosiveness or like, thinking outside of the box, right? And so, and it sounded like they were like putting that on Leslie Frazier, and I don't know if that's the case or not. I mean, our defense was kind of, it was very one-dimensional sort of, and I mean, our defense is definitely not what it has been. Like, we're not the defensive powerhouse that we're known to be, and so maybe a change in defensive coordinator is what we need to like put some extra gas in our defensive guys and bring back defensive powerhouse standings to Buffalo. So I'm sad to see him go because I like Leslie Frazier a lot, but at the same time, like, you got to think come the 2024 season, if we get a different defensive coordinator and he does well, like, what does that say? It's like, all right, now Leslie's back. Like, let's just put him back. No, I don't think so. Like, does he get shunted to a different position?
Yeah,
Did Leslie not want to just step down? Is he doing this to like semi step down and like have it sound nicer than just stepping down in general? Like, there's just so many questions that I have with this move. And I mean, I think you said it every single game we watched. It's like, oh, Leslie's aging 10 years every time, every quarter. Like, he just looks like he's getting older and older with every quarter that comes, and the next game comes and he looks
every
younger
game
again.
That you guys struggled. It was only the games you guys struggled in.
Yeah.
It was like he couldn't figure out what to do defensively to change,
right,
to counter like a star-studded offense.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like he would just get annoyed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. My question on that is, with it saying that he plans on returning to coaching in 2024, does that mean he plans on coming back to the Bills, or is he just planning on coming back to coach in the league
in general? Right.
Because it's not saying that he's leaving the Bills organization.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that he's stepping away.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you said, I mean, if you guys go and get a defensive coordinator now that comes out and gets you guys to the Super Bowl,
mm-hmm.
I don't see the Bills going, oh, Leslie Frazier, welcome back, bud. Come on in. No, it's going to be whatever guy you had that just led you to that. I mean, unless that defensive coordinator gets off to another team, because it happens all the time.
Yeah, true.
Where a head coach job takes them.
Mm-hmm.
But then, will the Bills fan base accept Leslie Frazier coming back?
I think we would accept him, but like we might not like it.
That's the thing.
Like,
because I mean, the Bills fans are very, very vocal about their and very loyal to their team.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, if you guys get used to having a good defense for a year with said new defensive coordinator, and then Leslie Frazier comes back and your defense just falls apart again,
mm-hmm.
you're gonna have Twitter and all of those social medias going wild of get rid of Leslie Frazier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know his background either. Like, I don't know if he has other, skills of coaching. Like, could he be like a secondary like special teams coach maybe? Like, is that something that he might do? Like,
could be.
He definitely wouldn't jump the gun and go to offensive. That just doesn't work.
No.
No one probably wants him as a head coach. I don't think he wants to be a head coach. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but yeah, I feel like he might come back as like a special teams coach, maybe just like a defensive analyst, maybe for a team. Who knows? But wish him the best of year. This year, take some time off. Relax a little bit.
Yeah, at least he won't age 10 years this season.
No, just one, like normal.
Well, staying in New York, the Giants released wide receiver Kenny Golladay after 2 seasons. This one's not surprising to me.
No.
They made the big trade to get Kenny Golladay from the Lions, and he never returned to form that he was when he was with the Lions, with the Giants.
No.
He had many moments where he was having hissy fits, saying that he wants the ball more, and then he'd be open and Daniel Jones would throw it to him, and he'd drop it. And in my opinion, you can't go and have a hissy fit and cry just to drop it then.
Right.
Like, if you're going to have the words, you better step up and make a play. And he just never did that for the Giants.
No.
So with that, I'm happy with that. Because the Giants now can move on, possibly get a better receiver. And, maybe one that'll help Daniel Jones, if Daniel Jones is even the quarterback next year. For all we know, there could be some crazy thing, and Jimmy Garoppolo could be the quarterback in New York next year.
He could be.
I mean, as of right now, this offseason, we don't know. And going back to the Derek Carr situation with the Saints, I learned that apparently he was about to sign a contract with the Jets, but the Jets asked him to wait and be patient. Because what I'm hearing is the Jets are kind of hoping for Rodgers, which is really weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that they took an older quarterback. I mean, they did it with Brett Favre when Brett Favre unretired.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's what they're looking for now is a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers to come in and do something.
Right.
But I don't think that's the right choice. But I mean, because of that, Derek Carr then went to the Saints and went, all right, I'm coming here to New Orleans. You guys seem more interested. Off we go.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Speaking of more releases, the Bucks are releasing running back Leonard Fournette now.
Mm.
So this will be Fournette now we dropped from his second team. So now we'll see if he'll stay in Florida or if he'll go somewhere else. I mean, if he signs with the Dolphins now, I just want to point out that he'll have a trifecta of he'll be on every Florida team on like his career so far.
Yeah. I did see a report that the Bills are apparently interested in him, and I
Mm.
don't want that.
Here's
I
the thing.
don't. I don't. I think it'd be
He
another
was
Singletary. Like,
he was good in college.
yeah.
And he was good his first year in the NFL until he got, I want to say it was a hamstring injury.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I feel like he never lived up to his college hype again.
Right.
He's kind of always been like a mid running back now.
Yeah. Yeah. For me,
He's better. He's a better receiving running back.
yeah. Let's stay with Cook. He's got some great upside potential. Just stay with him. No need to go out and waste anything by getting a running back when we have one ready and willing and like super eager to get out there and continue perfecting his craft, right? So like why would we go away from that? I mean, we have Singletary as the secondary. I mean, if he stays, I don't know. Not exactly sure the details on him. But if he stays, I mean, he's not a bad secondary to have. I mean, he's not a bad secondary running back. So um, bring up Cook. He's a monster. He just plows through people, and that's what we need. That's what Singletary was for us. And so now, I mean, I think Cook is just a more athletic version of Singletary, honestly. And so I hope that it's not true that we're not going to try and pursue Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I don't think Leonard Fournette is going to go anywhere and be the starter. Like I just don't see it.
Unless he goes
I see him
to
coming
like
in.
the Saints. Not even.
I don't see that because I mean, rumor right now is the Saints might go and pick up Jahmyr Gibbs in the draft,
Mm-hmm.
who is basically a Derrick Henry, but faster.
That's scary.
So, I mean, when you look at that, I mean, I just don't see him going somewhere like that.
Right.
Again, I see Fournette being that like power rusher that you bring in at like goal lines
Mm-hmm.
or like 3rd and 1s. You're bringing him for that kind of situation. He'll be good for those moments because he is a big size running back.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think his days of being the starting running back and like a star running back has kind of faded. Sadly.
I agree.
Now we're gonna head to draft news with the combine. Edge rusher Nolan Smith outran Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins in the 40-yard dash with a time of 4.44. Stephon had a 4.46, and DeAndre Hopkins had a 4.57. The fact that there is a defensive rusher now that is running faster than some wide receivers makes you go, this is just the evolution of the mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
You have these quarterbacks that are mobile and able to get out there and make plays. Well, now you have defensive players who have, evolved to kind of stop that. So wherever he goes could be a very interesting situation on a lot of things.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, especially if they, develop him right and
Exactly.
Really use his talent for. Obviously, that's what they want to do, but it all depends on who gets a hold of him and how they mold him. And yes, that's a scary thought too. Honestly,
I could see him going one place, and it's only because of something that they did today, and it could be Kansas City, because Kansas City just today released. Well, they're expected to release edge rusher Frank Clark. So they're gonna be dropping the veteran Frank Clark.
Yeah.
And they could use a young guy like Nolan Smith to come in there, and I mean that stops the threats of like Josh Allen, for instance, how he likes to get out of the pocket and run. Well, you have a guy like Nolan Smith that could stop that. It just that's a team I'd hope it doesn't happen to, because I mean I feel like the Jaguars are a very, very strong team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Chiefs don't need any more powerhouses there. Another shocking thing is, well, not shocking, but an interesting rule proposal. The Eagles have proposed a rule change to the NFL Competition Committee that would allow teams to attempt a 4th and 15 play to maintain ball possession when kicking off as an alternative to an onside kick. They will need 24 of 32 votes to have the rule passed.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on that?
That I like it. I think it would definitely like add an extra element to the game that we don't. I don't know if we necessarily need it, but like it'd be exciting to like see it pop up in a game scenario, like especially in like a late game scenario. You know, that's how onside kicks come, late game. So like I think it would just give an extra element to the game, more options to choose from, like a different comeback potential, you know, more ways to come back in tight games versus just the standard onside kick and pray, you know. So
yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like the onside kick, you kind of know it's not going to work.
Yeah, pretty much. No,
like the odds of an onside kick actually working is sadly
1 in 50,
very,
maybe
very
worse.
slim.
Yeah.
So you add a 4th and 15 play like that, and it now gives like a little bit more. It adds more excitement to, I think, the sport as well, because then like 4th and 15 is doable. Again, it's not the easiest thing to do because 15 yards is not easy to gain in the NFL. It's just not. But if you do it, to me, you deserve the first down. You deserve to keep going and have a chance to tie the game up.
I agree.
Do I see people voting for this though? Probably not, because the league doesn't. I've noticed this with like some rules that have happened in the past. The league doesn't like change too much.
They don't.
This is one of those things that is a very huge change. I mean, it's a thing where the onside kick is still available. It's just if you don't feel confident with kicking the onside kick, you can go. Can we do the 4th and 15 instead?
Right.
Which I like. Great idea.
Yeah, like I said, more options. Like, why would you not want to give yourself more options? Like in those late game scenarios, like just because it would force you to try harder and practice harder. Like, is that why? Is you just don't want to try that hard?
I mean, it goes back to me thinking about the baseball rules that you were talking about. How they decided like make it where it's a little bit faster.
Right.
The 4th and 15, in my opinion, would be like it's something to give it more action.
Yeah, I agree.